It's Wednesday, April the 13th, King of the Mountain State Show, presented by Dutch Miller Auto Group. I'm Chase Hill. I'm here today with Andrew, the gamer Toppin. He fought for us last year a little bit. Now he's got his name in the tournament as a lightweight. We're excited to have him. Man, thanks for sitting down talking to me today.
Hey man, thank you for having me. Thank you
And
for
I
having
got
me.
and I got my hat on that you gave me. It's like the first thing a fighter ever gave me, so I wanted
Yes,
to
sir.
represent it for you. So for the fans, man, you're not from West Virginia. A lot of them got familiar with you last year, but give us a little bit of the background, where you're from, where you're living
Okay.
at, training, and all that kind of stuff.
So I'm originally from a place called New Kent, Virginia. Two up, two down. You already know Virginia stand up. I lived there up until I was 22. At 22, I left home and moved down to Monabo, Puerto Rico, to pursue my career in professional fighting and fighting and amateur stuff.
Yeah, and you've been there how long now?
Uh, Actually, it'll be a year officially on April 16th.
Right. So, I mean, and traveling to fight is something that it can be a pain in the butt sometimes, but you're wanting to make a career out of this. So, training
Oh
down there,
yeah.
you expect to have to travel and do that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, traveling's going to be a part of it. Once I make it to the big time, it's going to be a part of it anyway. So might as well get used to it.
So, who do you work with down there? I mean, who's your
Uh,
coach and that kind of stuff?
so my main coaches are Elvin Leon Brito, the 165-pound world bare knuckle fighting championship champion, um, and Cesar Gonzalez, two of the best on the island, two of the best in the world. And I was actually beneficial to have another bare knuckle world champion coaching me this camp, Lorenzo Hunt. He's the light heavyweight bare knuckle fighting championship world champion.
And you've got some experience in that, right? The bare knuckle, the underground fight. Tell me about that.
All right, so I started out with the Underground Fight League on YouTube. I went 12-3 with them with 10 knockouts. I believe I have the most fights for that organization, most wins. I was with them from the very beginning of my me wanting to fight for a living. So I um, definitely started out on the YouTube, the backyard stuff, the underground stuff, and then I got introduced to bare knuckle, which my buddy Reggie Barnett made really popular in Virginia. We had girls girls like Britton Hart, dudes like Brian Maxwell who fought Chad Ochocinco, the Tomlinson family, all those guys. They were like the pioneers for bare knuckle in Virginia.
So, how do you gravitate toward this? Like, how do you end up being a fighter? What you decided this at an early age? This is something you wanted to do. What went into that
Uh,
thought?
so I wrestled all my life. That was my like gateway into like MMA and stuff. I always wanted to do MMA, but I ended up messing up my shoulder really bad my junior year of high school and waited a couple years to get it fixed. And by the time I got it fixed, I wasn't able to roll as well and stuff like that. So I started boxing when I got introduced to the underground stuff and found out that I might actually be really good at this. So I started taking it seriously. So.
Tell me about your style. I know that you like to walk forward. I know that you kind of like to bring power punches to the game. You're somewhat aggressive, but you can box and do that. Tell us a little bit about your fighting style.
Um, I like to say it's gonna be different every time I fight. It all depends on who I fight, and like last December when I fought Justin Milam, I knew it was gonna be a brawl from the get go from watching his fights, his previous fights. So I went in there ready to brawl. Some shit happened where it didn't go my way, and all the respect to him in the world, I still want to fight him again. So when that comes, we're gonna scrap again.
Well, and
So,
he's a really good fighter with a good record, and
oh yeah,
I know that you put your name in this hat, knowing that last year we didn't have your all's weight class, knowing we were
right.
going to have it this year. You were looking forward to a matchup with Milam at some point.
Oh yes, that's one of the main reasons I came back. Like I could be down in Puerto Rico doing the USA boxing tournaments and stuff like that, and doing uh the stuff that my coaches are telling me to do, But instead, like I also gave you my word when I came in December. It was like, hey, I'm with you for this tournament, and then we'll see where this goes from there. So I gave you my word, and you told me, hey, got a 150 tournament. And I was like, sign me up as soon as you drop it, sign me up. I want to be the first one on the list.
And you were number one on the
Oh
list, and you
yeah.
were ready to go. I had a guy drop out of this competition. I won't say his name because I respect anybody that has ever been in the ring more than they'll ever know. But I had a guy drop out of this because he was having trouble getting a ride from Clarksburg, West Virginia. You come from Puerto Rico to get to this thing, like flew to the mainland, and now you're making you
Yeah.
got to make it. I'm coming from Florida, I 12-hour drive for me to get there. So there's some times where guys can use different things to maybe get out of a fight. They're an amateur, and that's all right. That's no problem. But absolutely, what a professional approach you've taken to this to come all the way up from
Yes,
Puerto
sir. I
Rico.
appreciate it.
And
I
I
was
knew
at the airport at 8 o'clock last night, waiting to leave at 4:10 this morning.
well, and I knew you were that kind of guy. Like
Oh yeah.
I can count on you. You know what I mean? Like
Yes,
not
sir.
only can I count on you to put on a fight and a great performance, but I can count on you in all the other stuff, and it means a lot. You've earned your place with us. Here we are, 2022, our first year for the lightweights. It's 150-pound max. You're matching up with
Oh
Charles
yeah.
Moore. Charles Moore is a semi-pro champ kind of guy. Not sure if he's been exposed to the 2-minute rounds yet. So that's, that might be a little bit new, but I know you've maybe seen a little bit of footage from him, but not much. What kind of approach are we taking into this fight with Charles Moore?
So I won't really say much of my game plan, but I've seen a round from his last fight, and all I can say is I hope he's training hard, and I hope the way he fought his last fight isn't how he tries to fight me. Because at the end, I'll tell you right now, with the training that I do in Puerto Rico, ain't nobody in this lightweight division training harder than me. And ain't nobody in any of these fights you're putting on Saturday going to train harder than me.
Well, and
So,
I
I
and I
mean,
watch you. I stay up to you on your Facebook and stuff. I see you getting it
oh,
in
yeah.
every day. Even some different stuff that you play baseball and do some different stuff, but
Oh, yeah.
your training to fight is the same approach that you would be taking if this was for the world championship.
Yes, sir.
I know one of Charles's guys there, Charlie Wade's a good friend of mine, goes back a long time. He says he's going to have
Love
him.
Charlie to death.
Yep.
He's good people.
And
100% respect that guy.
And Charlie's one of those guys I could count on too. There was times where he was fighting as a pro for me in West Virginia, but he was staying down with family in Florida, and he had to travel from Florida up to West Virginia to do it. He was never late. He was always early. He was a true professional in everything he did. When he puts a guy like this in the tournament, they show up, they fight. So I think it's a great one, man. Round one, right off the bat, one of you guys might kind of take control of that weight class. I'm excited for you, and I'm glad you decided to do this year.
I appreciate it.
But for the fans that's watching, if you win and you're victorious, you'll go on. You'll fight in round two about 6-7 weeks later. Should be the first Saturday in June. We're excited to see how it plays out. Ultimately, somebody will be the king of West Virginia in your weight class. You'll get the strap. You'll get that big green and white belt. I think you've got a long, bright future in the fight game. We're lucky to have you. Everything that you take approach to is a professional, and I absolutely love having you in this. I'm glad you were able to get some safe travel, and hopefully you'll make it to West Virginia here this weekend. We'll be ready to go.
Yes, sir. I'll see you Friday.
All right. Yeah, you're coming to weigh-ins Friday. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
And then, hey, let's put a show on. I'm telling you, I'm from Boone County. The fight's in Boone County. People in Boone County have not seen the kind of talent that's getting ready to show up and fight. And you're one of those guys. And we're lucky to
I
have you.
appreciate that.
All right, bro.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll see you here 3 or 4 days. If you need anything, get a hold of me. Can't wait to see it. Let's
Yes,
put a
sir.
show on.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you.